Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the athletic experience as a Division III athlete. So I'm Cody. I play soccer for Schreiner University. That over there in the camo hoodie is JT. He is also on the soccer team. And this is Amari. He is on the track team at Schreiner University. And today we're just going to talk about what it's like and just really get into some detail about kind of a day in the life of how an athlete works in the D3 environment compared to D2 and D1, NAIA, JUCO, and just really a day in the life of what it's like. So would any of you two to get started on something that maybe separates the D3 athlete from like a D1 athlete?
Yeah, for sure. One thing I think the most is there's not a huge commitment. Like D3 it's a big commitment, but compared to D1, it's not that big compared to D1. Like D1, it's basically a job when you're there. As a D3 athlete, you're more of a student than you are an athlete.
Yeah, I completely agree. So from what I've seen just on social media and like Instagram and TikTok, even like I'll be seeing what most D1 athletes, like UCLA athletes and UConn athletes, they all get up to. And their life kind of centers, it really revolves around their sport and really what they do. We're also not seeing like most of the time a full day of theirs, but it's really more athlete centered than it is, I would say, academic centered. It's really like the focus of what they're there for.
Oh,
And because especially at the D1 level, like you have a much better chance of going professional. Like here, it's just more or less kind of something to make you look a little better, get you on your resume, really boost your like morale, I should say. That's what compared to D1 in that aspect, I would say it's really more sports centered for Division I than it is Division III.
yeah. Even when they say it's like you're a student before an athlete, I think that tends to trail off a little bit more the higher up you go compared to Division III to Division I. Because with Division III, I believe, yeah, that can apply. But when you get to two and then you actually start pulling in a lot of money, they're like, yeah, the school doesn't really, the school's taking my money. I want to do what gains me money and enjoy it at the same time. So, of course, you can see that they're not going to be in class most of the time. They're going to be out.
Yeah, like
practicing.
for example, the UT quarterback, Arch Manning, he's getting paid a ton of money just to go play football at the school, not even for any academic. He doesn't live on campus. He doesn't live the life of a normal freshman or sophomore. Is he a freshman, sophomore?
I think he's a sophomore.
Sophomore? Yeah. He doesn't live the normal life that most freshmen would get and most freshmen would experience. Is on top of getting paid a ton of money. He's living off campus in a super nice apartment as a freshman, focusing on football. Yes, he's still doing his academic portion at UT, which is a great school, great academics program. But his main focus is probably football. It's probably
100%.
to go to the NFL, get drafted. He's not too focused on school. Yes, he's trying to, of course, pass his classes as everyone should be, but it's more or less tailored to football. And I think that also goes more to say, so athletically, I think obviously Division I and Division II are going to be a little bit better facilities wise in Division III. No knocking on Division III, of course, but I think so. For me personally, and for JT over here, we have both torn our ACLs, and I tore mine in my right knee. He tore his in his left knee. I've dislocated my left knee. I've had a lot done to both knees, but I would say, so for college, you really just have like medical support wise for an athlete. You have a trainer's room that's probably the size of this podcast room, maybe a little bit larger. And you also have a doctor's office that's maybe double the size of that, not too large. But I would say based off what I've seen, so earlier this year, I took a trip up to University of Arkansas, and the facilities and just the size of everything and how much more there is there of actual help to you for athletes wise is ridiculous. Like at Schreiner University, we have 2 weight rooms. They're nice weight rooms. Nice.
One just got built too this year.
One did just get built.
Just for
That's
the
right.
football program too.
Yep.
Just for football.
One did just get built. They're really nice, don't get me wrong, but the one at University of Arkansas is huge. And then you have multiple practice fields for the football team. You've got multiple different parts of this training room. There's different training rooms. There's different doctors' offices.
And that's what I add on because you're in track. And I remember we played soccer. We had throwers come out to our turf field just to start throwing their medicine balls and shock put balls on our turf. So where do y'all practice? What do y'all do?
We don't even have an actual track field. The old track field, from what I've heard, is underneath where all the football players practice. So I know our coach said that if you were to dig up a little bit of grass, probably like a foot or so, you'd find some cement. But we practice at Tybee, and if Tybee has something going on, we go 20-minute drive all the way out to Ingram. So most of the time, we don't have our own practice field. And I know what you said with the facilities as well. That is a very important thing. But with how much money that usually universities bring in, that's why most of the bigger universities like the D2, D1 universities are super big compared to our, what is it, around 1,500 student body?
Gotta be.
Yeah. It's such a big difference of like just money in general too that's incoming that allows them to get that. But at the same time, even with the smaller schools, you can't really, I think the negligence to specific sports is very noticeable compared to bigger schools, because even with bigger schools spending like 150 million on a stadium, they're still bringing in so much that it's, yeah, they can still have a beautiful track as well. And I think that's really like the big separance for Division 1, 2, and 3, and why the facilities are so different is because the money that they bring in allows them to pay their athletes, and their athletes bring in more money from the sports that they play. And that all like correlates from like spending to gain. They're usually gaining a lot more than what they're outputting.
I'm going to kind of branch off of that. So even more or less of like just strictly facilities, like, so for here at Schreiner, as you just said, goes to a high school, a local high school to run track. What do you run? Do you run or do you do field?
I run. I do the 100 and 200.
Okay. Yeah. So having to go to a different high school, which obviously isn't too far. We're in Kerrville. It's small. You can get everywhere within probably 15, 20 minutes max. It's definitely a lot different than I would say having a big school, for example, or SEC school where you're always like in the top-notch facilities, and even coaching wise, you're having multiple coaches for one sport. Like for track at a big school, I would say it's probably, bless you, I would say it's probably per section of what you're running, you probably have a separate coach.
Yeah.
For each one. Here, do we only have what, one, two
we
coaches
have
maybe?
One track coach.
Yeah, one track coach for everything. Is that the same for field as well?
Yeah, we have one coach for track, one coach for field.
Yeah, so I would say it's definitely a lot more centered around the actual athlete perspective than it is the school perspective. Obviously, they still get a lot more schooling in, or not a lot more schooling in. They still get a lot of schooling in, but I think it's more or less focused on your actual character building as an athlete than it is your academic like success.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep going a little bit here. I'm gonna go a different route now towards how it is as like a community. So for Division 3, it is obviously a little bit smaller than Division 2, and it's pretty noticeably smaller than Division 1 in most places. But in Division 3, you get to know everyone.
Yep.
I know a lot of people in a lot of sports. I'm only a freshman, and I could probably name over half the basketball team. I can name everyone on the soccer team. I can name a couple track people. I can name a couple wrestlers. Like I can name a lot of people, and some of them, they can name me as well. Like you just really build the community. You really get to know everyone a lot more. Whereas compared to a big school, like how I said, I went to Arkansas, I probably didn't see the same person more than once in the entire time I was there. It's just
in talking about that, like knowing people. Sometimes you don't know people at soccer games. I would have people shout my name, like "Go JT," and I'll be like, I honestly don't know who this is, but I made it my like job to find out who they were and get to know them. So I really like that about D3. You really get to know everybody, and also seeing everyone a lot. Like I probably see the same person maybe 5 times throughout my day if I like walk the same class, the same route, same everything. I'll probably see them 5 times a day. I feel like you're not going to get that at all at D1. You'll maybe see them once a week, maybe.
Yeah. Because the jump between it with the schools too, with like how many people attend a school, you can go from a school from like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 people to like, let's say UTSA, which is like on its own, that could be counted as a whole like small town.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people, because that's like what?
I'm not sure on the population.
Almost like 10,000 people going to that large college.
Yeah. Even like T, like not just UTSA. UT is
huge.
Have you
guys
ever been to
one?
UT?
There's like what, 3 separate
Mhm.
ones?
Yeah. So the actual main UT Austin, I went with a friend back in the past. Excuse me.
Friend.
Yeah, friend back in the past, and it was like huge, like just tons of buildings. Like it looks like a city, but all of these buildings are dorms, they're dining halls, they're
Shopping centers.
shopping
Texas State was
centers,
huge. I went there.
everything.
Went there in January. It is gigantic. They got 4 dining halls everywhere. You can walk like far and you can still be on campus. Walk here and I'm like, what, mile down, not even, and I'm already out of campus.
Yep.
So as an athlete, would y'all prefer, so say Texas State, for example, like 4 or 5 dining halls, would you prefer having all those options to get your nutrition in? As an athlete, nutrition is obviously important. Would you
Yeah.
prefer all those extra
Oh, yeah.
options, or do you
100%.
see it as just like the one that we have at Schreiner, or the 2 that we have at Schreiner? Where
I would say even 1, bro. I wouldn't count the Den as a
No,
nutritious.
not at all.
place
Yeah,
to
that's
eat
like
at.
a
More like
budget
if you need to-
McDonald's.
Yeah,
you like
exactly.
pick up some food?
Oh yeah,
fast
and
food,
you can
go.
see all the big schools you go around. They got Chick-fil-A, like I don't want to say Pizza Hut, but they got a bunch of like restaurants inside the college you
Yeah,
can use your
that
meal
you
size
can
for and
use, yep.
everything. Healthy options. That's why the D3 to D1 experience. D3, you're probably not going to get the best nutrition ever, and like
Yeah.
same with like facilities as well. But they're still good. They're going to be good. But as a D1 athlete, they are giving you food. They are making sure that you are healthy, especially as a football player. Like you can see all those videos like Alabama. They got guys, they have their own like specific
Like meal
food.
plan.
Yeah,
Remember
and
we
that's a
went to-
big thing too.
We went to visit Duke. Remember that? We went in the stadium and they had the football locker room area and they had their own like kitchen for the
Yep.
players just
Mhm.
to eat so they can be
whole
healthy.
snack bar.
That's the difference between D1 and D3 and like food wise. So that's a huge thing because here I would say like freshman 15, 100% gain that one because
Oh yeah.
that hit me pretty hard when I came here to Schreiner. I was like, my God, this food, it's good, but there's a big difference when it comes to healthy food and D3 food, I'll say.
Yeah, and even when being an athlete, since
Yeah.
our campus is so much smaller than the bigger campuses too, the average student at other college campuses probably don't gain that much weight because they're walking like whole city
Yeah,
blocks.
I would agree. I would agree. I think
Mhm.
I walked 150 yards to go to my
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, from a room. Yeah. So academic wise, so we obviously have our perks academic wise, not a whole lot, just because at Schreiner it's always you're a student before you're an athlete. That's why it's called student athlete.
Yep.
You're always academics centered first. So our coaches, apart from our coaches just requiring us a certain amount of study hours when you're a freshman, and other than that's about it. Have you seen anything like D1 related about how much more academic help that they get?
I think you do get a lot more help here. And I think one of the main reasons because of that is because of how much smaller the school is and how much smaller the classes are. Because compared to the bigger schools, you don't have 100 people in a single lecture hall. It's more about highest amount, maybe 30.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most I've ever had in a class here.
Yeah. And I know one of my classes has 10 people. And it's so easy. Yeah. It's so easy to get like one-on-one. Like you could go after class. Hey, professor, I'm struggling on this topic.
That's
and
what
you
I
can
like.
get
That's what I
one-on-one
like.
help. And it's nice. But at the same time, it's the professor at a different university could be more knowledgeable, but it might get harder to get in contact with them because you're competing with like 100 other people.
Yeah, because my buddy, he goes to Texas State and he has to email professors like about hours or asking questions. Like you have to go to
Mhm.
office hours to do anything, which I would hate that. Like I like talking to people one-on-one. I like to get to know them and I like to
Mhm.
tell them like what's going on with me so they can help me out with what I'm doing. That's what I really like about going D3 as a student athlete. I get the best of both worlds.
Yep, that's one of the pros too. Even honestly, my only gripe about it is even though it's like such a small school, some of these professors do not answer their emails at all. It's yeesh, man.
But even as like Division III, I think being able to connect with your professor is so much more helpful than connecting with a tutor, for example. So
Yes.
I do know that I cannot remember what school it was, at some Big Ten school, but if you need like academic help, the coaches will give you a private tutor,
No
which
way.
obviously
You kidding?
is great. You get a private tutor and you got a little study group with you and a couple of your teammates with one
Mhm.
tutor for whatever this topic is that you need help on. But it's a lot different having a private tutor than it is being able to actually connect with the professor. Because say, for example, if this option right hand is the professor, and she's teaching you the exact same subject, but she's teaching it from like the professor's like perspective. I'm gonna rather take the professor's perspective than I am the tutoring perspective.
Yeah.
The tutoring perspective.
And to be fair, if that's an athlete going to a private tutor, are we gonna be honest? Like a D1 athlete, are they really gonna do? I'm not down. I'm not hating on them, but I'm just saying, are they really gonna do their work like that? Come on now.
Me personally,
like a 5-star football player, you really think that he's going to that private tutor for himself to do the work?
that is true.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on,
No,
that's
he's
why.
not.
That's
He's
what I'm
not.
saying. Like the D3 to D1, I think D3 takes academics all the way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not smart. I'm just saying they get a lot of help from other people to do their work.
And even at Schreiner, if you look up for non-athletes, just GPA acceptance, I'm pretty sure it's 3.4 or 3.5, which is on average, that's a pretty high GPA. That's
Yeah.
what is that?
I would say
A's and B's and maybe
Yeah.
one C.
I would
Maybe.
know. All A's. It's a bunch of A's and 1 or 2 B's.
Yeah. So I got a little lucky. When I was in high school, I always made all A's, so I got pretty good scholarship benefits. But academic wise, it is definitely, if you're just coming here just to be a student and not even athletically, it's a pretty challenging school to
Yeah. And then another difference too, D1 to D3, NIL, you're not gonna make really any money being a D3 athlete.
Yeah.
If you're a really good D1 athlete, you're making millions. Like we talked about Arch Manning, you're making millions as a college athlete. As a D3 player,
You may be getting $20 sometimes.
Yeah,
you're not making anything unless you do like the
Right.
stuff we just did a Zoom call
Yeah,
with.
so we had a Zoom call. There was a Zoom call for Schreiner athletes, and most of the soccer team was on it because our coach is running like the program. And one of our teammates is on the NIL like thing, Cash.
Yeah, cash.
And he's been on it since our first fall semester. We're in the spring now. Today's April 19th, I believe. And we started in August, and he's been on the NIL stuff since probably early August. And I think in total, he said he's made what?
I think $150.
$150.
$100
Which,
something
hey,
like that.
$150 is $150.
It's
Yeah.
money, but imagine
Money's money.
making 150 to
$150 million.
$150 million as a D1 athlete.
Yeah.
There we go.
Exactly. NIL benefits is definitely, don't get me wrong, you have to be a superstar athlete to be
Oh,
getting
of course.
$150 million.
Yeah,
course,
they're
but-
getting their worth.
Even if you're not a superstar athlete, like you get all this promotion for yourself.
Yeah.
So the team shop, you remember when we went to Duke? Like the basketball team shop, every player, like from the bottom player, like you could be the last fifth string
Jersey
center on the roster. You've got your jersey hanging up on the side of the Duke team shop. Every single player has racks of jerseys there and racks of their merchandise there that they get small profits on for their stuff being sold. And just having that benefit as a Division I athlete is probably huge. So you get, even for being the bottom of the barrel athlete at a D1 school, it's probably athletically so much better than top of the notch D2 or D3 athlete, just because you get all these money benefits.
Oh yeah, and don't even get started on the stress too. The stress that you get from just being an athlete and in college in general.
Yeah.
It's
I will say when I first came here, I didn't like college at all. Like being like starting as an athlete, we got here 2 weeks before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
Did you guys do the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, because you played football. In
I
the
think we were
beginning,
here
right?
I
Yeah,
think
y'all
we were
came here early.
Early.
Oh yeah. But I
Man.
definitely hated college in the first place. And then when school started, I was like, well, I really hate this. But
Yeah.
once everything got going, you got a good group of guys like on a soccer team. I really just, I would say, fell in love. Like I started to like it a lot more. I had a great time. And I feel like going to like D1 school, I don't know how I'd like it, especially if I didn't do a sport. I just don't know how I would do it.
Yeah, and it's a lot different too because I feel like with a lot of the D1 sports, I think you're competing with your teammates as well.
Oh, of course.
And I think that's the thing with D3 is since you're playing with just as much on the line, but you can also still have fun.
Oh,
Then I
yeah.
think it's less. Oh, I hate my teammate. Purpose foul, just to injure him, just to get him out. Yeah, I can
Mhm.
get more play time, more money. I think it's a lot less down here,
Oh, of course.
and I think that's just a good thing.
I think building bonds, just like in general, building bonds is a lot easier than it would be at a bigger school.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I totally agree.
you're going to meet a ton more people, but it's a lot more difficult to get to know them just because of the D1 having more packed schedules athletically and academically. They just have so much more to do than we do at D3. Like, for example, today I had an 11 o'clock class and I have this podcast, which is counting as one of my classes right now, and my third class right after. and that's it.
Mhm.
And I'm done. That is how my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays go. And then I have 2 online classes, super easy. And I've got Tuesday, Thursdays. I have 1 class at 9 a.m. And then my days are done. And then just me and you practice at the end of the day. Sometimes in the spring season, we have weights in the morning, but other than that, super easy days, tons of time to get your work done. And even during season, we have a ton of time, just free time. Like usually after about 3 o'clock, it's just free time.
Yeah.
Great.
To get your homework done, do whatever you got to do. You just have all this like time to yourself.
And talking about the time, I remember I would see day in the lives of a D1 athlete, and they are going from, let's say they're in football, right? They are going from, let's say, an 8 a.m. practice, and then they'll maybe have 2 classes. But after those 2 classes, they have to do mandatory recovery. So they have to go to the trainers.
Yep.
And then they have film sessions. And then they got another workout. And then finally they can get back home at 11 o'clock. D3 athletes, we have, like you said, so much time on our hands. Practice takes up a good amount, but you're a student before you're an athlete. You do more schoolwork than you do.
You do.
You
really do.
Your sport.
Yeah, you'll be in your sport thinking about the work. You're like, damn.
Man, I got a 5-page essay due tonight.
Yep.
Haven't even started. No, not yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, I'm a little scared of this business exam. That's coming up in like a week or 2.
Now that we're towards the end of the semester, for me, it's just so I have a small group communication class that I also am doing a podcast for. I have this class I'm doing a podcast for.
Are those your finals?
Yeah. And my
D1 to 3-3 right here.
Yeah. My history class, we just did the project, also a little recording talking about a certain topic that you picked. And then I have an economics test, and then my 2 online tests. I would say I've got a lot of time to do those, and mainly this week. Like I was telling JT earlier, this week I don't have a single like actual assignment due throughout the entire week.
That is true.
I just have like time to go to my classes, and they're just reviewing, so we can.
Yep, and then it's all due on the weekend.
Yeah,
low-key got a good amount of work to do. I can't lie.
Mine's just time to work on your projects and prepare for your test if you have one. That's all my week is. So we had a ton of work during the school year. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Working pretty much every day, but that just goes back to once again being you're a student before you're an athlete.
Now, if you could play at any D1 program for anything, what would you want to do?
If I could play at any D1 program, it's either between Boulder or Washington State.
CU would be crazy.
CU Boulder. I've seen their it's so beautiful, man. And it's like they got every 4 season up there, and it's beautiful campus, beautiful dorms, good looking food, and it's really wild. It's even more wildlife initiated than Schreiner. That's something.
I've got a friend up there, Jake Eaton.
Jake.
Yeah,
Jake.
He's in a frat up there, and man, it is.
He also plays soccer, by the way. So.
He did also play soccer. He quit, but he did also play soccer. But yeah, he says it's like beautiful. It like CU Boulder looks like a vacation like resort.
That'd be nice.
Mini Hogwarts.
Nice.
Yeah, literally, it's like a resort if you go there. It's crazy, but it is a lot more expensive.
A lot more
expensive. Tuition there with no scholarships is close to in between 70 and 80 grand.
Gee,
no thanks.
Yeah.
Where would you want to play?
Where would I want to play?
If you could play anywhere, D1 program.
Have you? Well, I used to, whenever I'd watch like college soccer games back in the past, I always like loved Wake Forest. Have you ever seen?
Where is Wake Forest again? Carolina.
Yeah,
is it North Carolina?
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be nice. I like their colors.
Nice. It is, the black and gold. Oh man, Wake Forest is beautiful. Or have you ever been to the Furman campus?
Oh,
you remember Baca, the goalie?
Yes, he goes to Furman. Yeah.
Oh, talk about a beautiful campus. Oh my goodness.
You know which campus I really liked? North Carolina. So a campus or a school I'd want to go to, Duke. Is Duke in North Carolina? Are they not?
Honestly,
I think they are.
You remember UNCG?
We did visit there. That was a really cool campus. Their soccer field, they had big brick wall around it with these big brick stadium seats. Oh, it looked amazing.
Charlotte was nice.
Stepped into that.
No, bro, I'm telling you, the campus was beautiful, man.
And Charlotte was awesome too. Charlotte was really cool because their soccer stadium, everything was on level, and their soccer stadium, Duke's football stadium, how everything's online, and then it just went down, and the stadium and the actual like field was under like ground level, and the seats would just go down like towards it.
Did Brad play there? Charlotte, is that?
Yeah,
he did.
Brad Dildy
He did play there.
Yes, he did.
Why did he leave again? Because this is a D1 program. If you know why he left, that'd be great to know for the
I think
experience.
so. We had a friend, me and JT, we played club soccer together for the longest time, and we had a teammate whose name was Blake Gildy.
Shout out
Blake Gildy. And his older brother's name is Brad. So Brad was a super good soccer player. He went D1 at Charlotte in North or South Carolina. I'm not sure which one it is, but super, super nice. He played there. He heard he got a lot of minutes and he did really well. And he was getting professional like interests from MLS teams, but he chose to do another year in college. I heard, because I still talk to Blake to this day. I still talk to him a lot. We actually play him in conference next year, which will be fun.
Forgot UMHB?
Yeah, UMHB.
UMHB.
But yeah, he was telling me that Brad, he didn't really connect a lot. What we talked about earlier, he didn't really connect a lot with his teammates.
Yeah.
He enjoyed playing soccer because, of course, he was getting minutes. He, as a freshman, playing all this at a top 20 program in the country, you're legit if you're doing that. But then he transferred to his sophomore year because he wasn't getting a lot of connections with his teammates. Like, he was just by himself.
That's a big thing too. Like we talked about, you are like with your team. That's why I fell in love with Schreiner more, because our teammates are like a group, like we're brothers. So and like you said, as a D1 program, you're like you said, you're going to purposely injure somebody if you wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true. Probably going to do that. If I wanted to play and I got money for it, I'm going to do it.
Oh yeah.
And even so he transferred he was between a D3 school and a D2 school. He ended up going to a D2 school because he's legit. He's a good player. So he went to a top D2 school and he still plays there to this day. But last year he got entered into the MLS draft. He didn't get picked, but he did get entered in the MLS draft. And I think he's going to get entered in again, and he'll probably get picked in the next year or two. So even after leaving D1, you can still, if your aspires are to become a professional athlete, you can still do it. There is a striker for the U.S. men's national team. He just got injured before the World Cup. I think his name's Patrick Agyemang, I think. Y'all probably don't know him, but he started off as a Division III athlete.
That's crazy.
He went D3, and he got interest after being D3 to a D2 school. He went D2, played there for 2 years. In his senior year, he went to Ohio State, and he broke like the scoring record, and he got all this attraction. Then he became a professional athlete, and I'm not sure where. I think in probably America, probably. And then he got caps for the national team. And then he was about to go to the World Cup this year, got injured, unfortunately, so he's not going to go. But, like, he's legit. So, really, if your goals are to become a professional athlete, D3 is not the end of the world for you. Obviously, most people at D3, their goals are not to become a professional athlete. But if you're good enough and you back your ability and you know you can do it, you can do it.
You can jump from D3 to D1.
It is possible. It is very possible. And just even being able to, no coach is going to look at you differently if there's a D1 player emailing him to come watch this game or a D3 player to come email and watch this game. They'll probably be more enticed to go to the D1 game just because the level may be a little bit higher. But if you're a good player, you're a good player. And he's going to go watch you.
And if anything, coaches look for more experience. As a D1, you're probably not going to play that much as a freshman or anything. But if you go in as a freshman, you go to a D3 and you really want to keep going, you get so many minutes as a D3 athlete. And then that's why they look at you more for experience. And then you can go to a D1 school and become who you want to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because that time adds up.
I'm going to go on, I'll do one more topic just to wrap this up.
Sounds good.
So what do y'all think? Obviously, we said that coaching-wise, you have less coaches, but would you guys prefer having more coaches that you're able to connect with less, or just one coach, like two coaches like we have, or just one coach like you have where you're really able, kind of like the professor situation where you're really able to kind of talk to them and bond with them and really get to know them more on a personal level than just a you're my coach level?
Personally, for me, I love Coach Garnett. He's like an amazing coach, but I feel like he's just stressed sometimes with being one person with 30 people to look after. I think just at least having two people, because he has so much knowledge he has to fill in for just having two people. I feel like two people for the track side and then two people for the field side would really help out. So it's like he's just not carrying everything by himself, because I feel like it does suck sometimes where it's, hey, coach, can you go over like my form? And he's like, yeah, give me a second, while he's sending some of the long distance runner or like the mid distance runners. And then I'm just sitting there having to wait a little bit, a couple minutes or so So it's impeding on my workout time. And it's the same thing with other people.
Yeah.
So I think just having one extra coach would be so much beneficial than having only one. But honestly, I'm not complaining for
Yeah.
even though we just have one. Like it's still, I still feel like I'm enjoying the sport. As first time doing track, I feel like I've improved a lot, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Personally.
Good. Yeah.
What do you prefer?
Having two for soccer, I feel like it's a good thing. Like we have a head coach, assistant coach. Maybe, I don't know. I like two. As a soccer, you don't really do as much, I guess, as track, like form oriented and all that other stuff. Like soccer, you run drills and you practice against each other. There's not really much to go over, I guess. So two's good for me.
What do you think on like a personal level? So I know for me, like we have a teammate. I won't say his name or anything or what happened, but he got in a little bit of trouble. But the first person that was called whenever he got into trouble was the coach. And I feel obviously in some scenarios at bigger schools, you don't call the head coach about that. You call the bottom tier coach who then lets the next coach know and then the head coach know. And then it's like you're never really like actually connecting with the coach. But when he got in trouble, it was instantly to the coach like that moment. And the coach like was talking him through it, like just calming him down, be like, hey, look, it's all right. Like he was really able to like really connect with him. And I feel like I feel like connections are really important, especially in college, because you're not going to thrive in college unless you connect. Connecting is the most important thing. And in big schools, I feel like we said earlier, it's way harder to connect than it would be at a small school.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Totally agree.
All right. That really covers all our topics,
Yeah,
unless you guys have anything else to say.
I got nothing else.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. And this was the college experience for a Division III athlete compared to Division I and Division II. Thank y'all for listening.
Thank y'all.